Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another quick view. Only this is not full Monty Python. This is not something completely different, but this is at the very least something that I would recognize and refer to as different. Rolling in from out of frame, our good buddy Baseline. Cruising in here. And you may say, well, why is he here? So there's my radio link receiver. You've heard me talk at great length about how much I approve of the Radio Link RC4GS to the point where I don't even know. We have to have at least a dozen of them. They are really tough to beat. But for the purposes of this video, we will be testing something a little bit different. Luffy! And that is something that will not be exhibited at all by taking the body off. Now, it looks exactly the same. So what it is what I'm using to control the vehicle. Okay, I guess I could exhibit it best by doing this. Now that's my left hand. Transitional reverse is a little jerky. But I think, okay, I don't know how this came up in my Amazon search. It just did. The Hot RC DS-4A. It is indeed 4 channels. Here it is. Look what we got going on here. Let's just say that the shape of this trigger, I don't know. I think it's because there's no gap. I think that's what it is. Like your finger, see how your finger fits in there? Any other trigger, I'm swirling my head around looking for a radio. Any other trigger is going to have, like, there's deadband, right? There's some space. And also, this guy's throw is real small. Now, this is something I wanted to try because I think that there are people out there that only I'm making no efforts to be indelicate, but they only have one hand to use. And I don't mean folks that are just holding a camera in this hand. I mean that they only have one hand to use. It does say right handle, and I believe that is true because it kind of, especially where that is, it's okay, but that little lump right there, I think they could have made this ambidextrous. But not to bury the lead, this was $24 on Amazon. It's a 4 gigahertz. It's a 2.4 gigahertz 4 channel. There's channels 3 and 4, and apparently you can mix the channels. It's got trims. It has. We're going to get to this. It's got speed control. I wonder, can I get it creeping slow enough? You go. Right? I mean, I'll take that on every radio. What? Also, for fun, you know what? I don't mind that. I think because it kind of takes me back to the 80s. I don't know, like it sounds like Galaga. Every other radio that has some sort of startup tone or power down tone or whatever little tune that it plays, I really hate it. Like when you turn this on and it goes beep, 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 beep. Yes, you've told me something diagnostic. It's information I need to know. It recognized all 3 cells of the 3S, and that long beep means the radio is there. We are good to rock. I don't need Someone in the comments just told me how to turn. I would love to be able to, let's see. Okay. Someone in the comments just told me how to turn off the music on a FlySky G7P. Oh, thank God. It raised that radio one hair above insufferable. So the Hot RC at $25, it is fairly intuitive to anyone who's ever played a video game. And I will tell you this now, to anyone who's ever played a video game. I was driving around on the bench right here, and I drove it around on the floor a little to test this after I got it paired. And the pairing I had to, the pairing is no problem. There's a bind button on the receiver, and you you turn the rig on, you press the bind button, it flashes fast, you turn this on, boom, it's done, it's set. Calibrating the trigger to this, I think I had to do it like 6 or 7 times to get it to take. This thing would just keep flashing. I don't know if there's a latency thing. I have no explanation as to why it wouldn't just do it. Channel reversing is super easy. There's a little button right here that says reverse, and if your steering is backwards, you hold that down and this goes wee, and you just push the stick and it reverses your steering. So you can reverse your steering instantly. And the same for the throttle, because, you know, to calibrate a hobby wing, you generally have to calibrate it in reverse. So I was switching it between forward and reverse multiple times trying to get this thing to pair. Once it's on there, we've got the low speed, and all I can think, I can't tell by the wheel speed. No? Maybe. It might be calibrated reverse, and then I just reverse the trigger, which is maybe why I can just roll into forward. But when I go into reverse, like, it makes me jump. It's just a fidelity thing. My biggest complaint about this radio would be that A, it's top heavy. 4 AA's in there, but A, it's top heavy. This is not having used it. I mean, I can issue a whole litany of complaints depending on how it performs. But because it's top heavy, you can't really set it down. It rolls away. It will sort of like, it doesn't want to do that. So I'm thinking, I don't know, get like a coaster or something and hot glue it to the battery door so that you can set it down. There's no real good way to put it down. It does have a spot for a lanyard, but the lanyard that they provide is like the typical thing for a cell phone, this little thing. Like, I can't even get my hand through that. So, I mean, I guess I could do that. But these are minor complaints. Aside from pairing it, like I say, it's pretty intuitive off the bat. Now, what we're used to on a steering wheel, right? It's about the same, but that side to side. Now, to like some European folks, I know there are a lot of people out there in this world that are still driving rigs with 2 sticks. I don't think I could. This is getting closer. This is getting closer to driving with 2 sticks. So we will see how I manage to do. And I think the only way to do this review properly is I'm going to take the bane of my existence, this guy. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the old DJI, the Osmo out there, and I'm going to double fist. Ooh, look at me. I'm in an F-16 now. And I'm going to try to film with one hand and drive with the other. And my brain is going to be doing so many things at once. Let me just put it to you this way. We're not going to try a whole lot of technical stuff. We're going to see if the ergonomics of this work. I love the speed thing already. I honestly want that on every radio. But, you know, for folks out there that are reduced mobility, that don't have 2 hands, this right here, this is not exactly a winning option. I mean, we all kind of do it now and again, and I'm imagining folks that drive and film at the same time do that fairly commonly. I've seen a lot of 3D printed things that makes a little thumb wheel here. But if this thing proves to have range and it's something that my brain can tune itself to, this might actually be a valid option for some people. I can already tell just by picking it up, I don't think it's an option for everybody. My hands are a little big for it. When I hit reverse, I'm blasting it every time. That actually made me jump a little. But you know what? I am all for an alternative product, particularly one that apparently, I looked it up, came up in that random Amazon search, as I said, and I looked it up on the internets and found virtually nothing. They are sold on places like AliExpress, and I think they're like under $20, but you know, $25 from Amazon isn't exactly going to break the bank, I should hope. If you can't afford one of these, I don't know. Spend less on RC, I guess. I'm not here to give life advice. I'm certainly not qualified. Let's take it out and drive it around, and I'll just see what thoughts formulate and percolate as we mush around. And odds are, like I have positive feelings, and I try not to be too optimistic, but I have positive feelings about this. I think I'm going to have more problems with the Osmo, which I usually do. So let's do it. I'll just come out and say, we're having something of a mental issue already. There we go. And that is this. There is a control stick on the back of the Mimo, and the control stick is shaped basically identically to what controls steering on this little hot RC pistol guy. So, zooming and steering are the same control. My brain. Let's come out of cruise control. I hate being in the shot. Now let us see if we can do what I think something like this would be great for us, for those of us that can operate two-handed, which is, we tend to not to be able to get close enough in on shots, I think. Now this is a moment where I wish I did have the lanyard, because I could go to active track on the Mimo. Yeah, I don't know if I have enough brain to actually do this. Low speed is great. Like I'm getting the handle. I'm getting the hang of the trigger feel. It's very light. And ordinarily, I despise any transmitter that isn't, shaped like a pistol grip transmitter, but this is not bad. If anything, it might feel a little too light, and as I said, it's a little top heavy. I might be able to stay up here. Yeah, the steering, there's nothing at all wrong with the feel of the steering. It's just a little more brisk than what I am used to. I'm trying to channel all my years of PlayStations into controlling this rig. Yeah, but I can get nice slow creep. You can hold the steering pretty easily. There's a little tiny bit of sluggo where the first initial tip of the throttle is a little slower. Like it takes a split second. But this right here, it is definitely manageable. A little dead there. And I will say this. I don't think this is something you would want to do all week, because the amount of fine motor control that a typical two-hander, which I will call myself, uses to control one of these vehicles is not the same on a conventional, what we will call a conventional controller. Because I'm having to use my thumb on my right hand to steer, and my index finger for speed, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining here. Yeah, that reverse is tough for me. I'm literally okay, and this is not a complaint oriented to anyone, but I literally, why I leave a tripod attached to the bottom of my Mimo is my hands, both of my hands were starting to get a cramp right along here. Like it's so tight right there right now because I'm over gripping. I don't know if this is a problem for folks who are, you know, accustomed to this sort of thing. But the actual, like I say, there's something intuitive about it. I think I would just have to get used to it. Now, could I see this in use for anything that isn't a rock crawler? Well, that's something else entirely. Like the low speed modulation. I don't know what it is about reverse. I don't know if that's a peculiarity of the controller. I don't know if that's a peculiarity of the way it was calibrated, or if just like my finger, if that twitch action. But yeah, when I touch reverse, it's like being shot out of a gun. All right, now we're gonna do something even worse, which is rolling in from out of frame here. Okay, get that nose up. Yeah, I have said in the past that I might as well be one-handed because my left hand is not attuned to fine motor function. So I am trying to drive this left-handed, and honestly, the feel of this, it might, I was wrong before. I think because of my hand size, it feels better in my left hand than it does in my right hand. Going into reverse is still a bit of a bang operation. I definitely have to, I'm trying to make some mental adjustment to that. But this is a bit of a hard line right here. I said I wasn't going to go at anything too difficult. Trying to get that little side bite on that rear tire. Pivot. Get it up and over. Oh, you dropped back on the belly. Whee! Yeah, the throw. The throw is short. For the trigger and the steering, for me the hardest part is trying to go into reverse without it just being alarming. I just think this is laziness taking over, because controller in the left hand is just easier for me. I think this goes back to the fact that probably 90% of us hold a conventional controller in our left hand. Yeah, this is so much easier. So me trying to do this right-handed was some bizarre equivalent of me trying to do it left-handed. Nice low speed. This is the closest I've ever come to successfully recording and driving at the same time. Like, look, we can get some dynamicism in here. And now the active, what is the active track looking at? There we go. Yeah, he's over there. He's over there. Oh my God. The active track is locked onto that Tonka truck. The active track lost this guy. I told you there'd be more problems with the Mimo. The active track lost the baseline and started looking at the Tonka over there. But look, we can get shots. Yeah, and you can't fault that low. But every time I transition to reverse, okay, I focused. That was the mental art of focus. I think I'm just better at it with my left hand. All right, so we said, oh yeah, I think I alluded to indoors. When you're driving directly towards yourself, I don't know, maybe other folks' brains are more attuned to this type of thing, but I will push the stick in the wrong direction pretty much every time. Let's get up on this ledge here. Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised, as much with myself as with the product, because I mean you can take right to it. I think the calibration is pretty important, and I'm not 100% sure I got it calibrated just right to the radio. Oh yeah. Double Bund Canyon Trail's nice. And like I say, just for the dynamicism, to be able to move. I chide myself for being something of a fixed position photographer, right? It is far easier for me to set up a tripod and try to record within the confines of that tripod. Yeah, I did just turn the stick the wrong way again. And this is something that I want to try to get better at. And I guess we just came out here doing it wrong, because the hand cramping is gone. Like, my left hand is used to doing this, and my right hand is now used to doing what it's doing. I guess more fine motor control required for the filming? Get him nice and tight here. I'm all for this. I have no regrets. If we could get Active Track to actually track the rig so that he isn't constantly going out of frame, that would be amazing. What I think I'm having an issue grasping here has nothing to do with the Mimo or the Hot RC. Get out of the river. There's another set of tires I have to hit with the air. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of these inserts, though. It's absolutely fine. Let's try a little follower here. Any problems are definitely the wheel nut. We've definitely got wheel nut issues. Some of it, I'm trying to grasp here. Also, I think I've mentioned this before, but the fact that in certain situations, wet tires are more grippy than dry ones is still a thing I cannot get my head around that. It shouldn't be, because on anything else, if a tire is wet, it grips less. But a rock crawler tire will tend to, look at all the water squooging out of that. Yeah. There's a lot of water coming out of those canyon trails. I'm for it. Like I say, I don't think it's, we're not going to see 20 of these in the fleet. But you know what? This is definitely a viable alternative. And if you are someone with limited mobility, a loss of dexterity for whatever reason, this is valid. I am a certifiable idiot. I make bad choices all the time. And I don't think this was one of them. This thing's pretty nice. And come on, guys, $25. If nothing else, I consider this is like a gym for the brain, because it's it's teaching me how to drive in a way that ordinarily I wouldn't think of. I'm just watching every time that tire comes around. You can watch the water go blurp. Yeah, blurp. I'm just squeezing the water out of that tire. It's a learning tool. Yeah, look at him. So for the here's a little non sequitur. For those who just take an open cell foam and drive your rig around like through a stream like I just did, if they're not vented, that's still not going to come out. So open cell foam and water are not good buddies. But my take on the hot RC? Well, okay, there's one other thing I think that we need to do. Just watching the water pour out of those tires. Look at the all the water that's run out. Aside from driving towards yourself, and maybe a lot of people, is this an inverted stick moment where I have to fly RC planes or video game planes with the stick inverted, and some people don't? If you don't have inverted stick, does this make more sense to you that you turn the stick the opposite direction when driving towards yourself? My brain does not like it. Now let's see. Now they claim like 300 meters of range, which should be more than enough. I don't think we'll be able to get out of range here. Yeah, I'm figuring it out. Woo! Yeah, if nothing else, the steering is so quick because the throw is so short. It really does kind of feel like the throw of like a DualShock or an Xbox controller, something like that. And now, after some number of minutes, oh, I gotta set this down. Oh, yeah. Oh. I gotta start, I gotta tape like a 2.5 pound weight to the bottoms of my controllers. Okay, switching back to the right hand, my left hand is genuinely getting tired. Like I am experiencing fatigue. And now, does the right hand remember? Reverse is still an iffy proposition for me because I guess just my hand isn't used to it. It's neat. If nothing else, it is neat. Huh. I'm surprised. I really am. Come on. There we go. Like, it feels natural. So let's see how I can descend. And then we'll try to hit Daphne's little line here. I'm gonna try it right-handed first here. So what's not to like? I don't know. For what it is? Well, the learning curve of reverse. But I'm not gonna hold that against the product because that could well be me. There is definitely a learning curve to how much finger pressure is required for both the throttle and the stick. So the trigger and the thumbstick. But, I mean, if I can pick it up. Oh, see, that was a little zesty there. There's not as much trigger travel. Honestly, the steering stick, like, I'm taking to it. Yeah, the abruptness of, oh, okay. Left-handed. Nice and filthy tires here. Perfect situation. I just kicked dirt all over myself. Yeah, I gotta learn that reverse. Yeah, I feel like I was doing better right-handed, and it started off right-handed, not feeling good. Hey, there we are. A little more, come on. Pull those dirty tires up. A little slide, come on, get over there. You know? Yeah, me and reverse, we don't get along. So this, I mean, take it into consideration, folks. This is definitely an option. I honestly, God, I wish my kids weren't in school right now, for once. I mean, they're teenagers, but I wish, don't interpret this. I wish I had a teenager right now, because I think I think this might be actually more intuitive to them, you know? I'm so ingrained. This goes back to a little bit of real car mode on the 1080 G2 speed control, where there's just no way. I will never be able to pull for reverse. Now, the intuitive of this, the level, which goes back to video games, I think it's there. Obviously the thing absolutely works. But I think picking it up for some people will be easier than others, and I think I'm kind of more on the end of the old dog. This is something akin to a new trick. But hey, I mean, the thing do what it say it's gonna do, and it's got all the stuff. It's got channel 3, channel 4. It's got 4 channels. The cruise control alone, it's neat. I would. If you are in a position where you either need something like this or just want to try something like this, $25. Give it a shot. This is definitely shaping up in my head. What a strange quick view. I mean, I don't even know how this came up in the Amazon search, but here it is. You know, if it's something that you've been on the hunt for, not bad at all. Not bad at all. And the trigger feel, despite the fact that I can't quite get it, the springs and whatnot inside, they actually feel pretty good. Like, it doesn't feel, I thought it was just gonna feel like cheap plastic. It's not bad. I wish it was a little heavier. It's very light. So if you have a problem with any sort of hand or finger weakness, you're not going to have a problem. It weighs probably about as much as 8 AA batteries total. And 4 of that is the AA batteries that are inside of it. So, you know, if it's something you never thought about, give it a think. That is the end of this quick view of the Hot RC. I said the name earlier. I already can't remember. The Hot RC thing that looks like a fighter controller. I think this fills a need. I think somewhere out there, someone actually needs this. I'm going to give it some more goes and see if I can get any better at it. I don't think I can get any worse. And we'll move on back to more typical stuff, let's say. So we thank you all for joining us for this one. We hope that we provided, at least, if nothing else, some entertainment and some diversion. We invite you to please do leave a comment below with any questions or comments. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. Please do consider a channel membership if you are in the position to do so to help support the channel. Tune in for whatever we got next. And in between now and when I see you again, I hope that you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We will catch you next time.